This is just AMZN on Friday, February 1st, 2019. Happy February. We got earnings and we ran up, rolled down, and pre-market just stayed down. Didn't get going anywhere, making this a bearish gap and go. But what's interesting is we had a really nice kind of consolidation here, a really nice sideways channel that we're at the low end of that, leading right into the open. And so this is looking like it's a good place to buy, just based on this candle, being a Morningstar or a hammer that could be a Morningstar reversal, like was here and here. This is a stronger buying candle than this earlier, but I mean, it's low volume. It's still pre-market. But that same level is kind of the resistance that it got underneath at the end of after hours yesterday. So let's get into the day and see how things played out. We get another hammer right here. So again, we're at this low area where we get a hammer. I would love to see this come back down to 1617.54. But that's a really strong hammer, and you could be trading that, bullish getting in above it and a stop below it. Or if you were getting in bullish looking to buy, in this area, because of that hammer, maybe you already got filled somewhere in here, and hopefully not stopped out too. But I mean, it moves a lot in the first 5 minutes. You lose so much premium that it's kind of hard to figure out what the option price is going to be at the open. So usually what I would do after earnings is wait for it to consolidate, unless it's at a really good level, like, right on one of these lines, and, just trade it accordingly. So then we move up, move up very rapidly, crossing through the high here. So we're getting out of that channel. And even though this is a bearish gap and go from yesterday's candle, yesterday's candle being bullish, today's being bearish, or a gap down. Sorry, not bearish candle. Well, not yet anyway. It can be. Right now it's a bullish candle, but it's just retesting. There's so much volume in here, so much movement in here. People anticipating what it was going to do, it's earnings. So people think it's going to do something, and this morning it's actually moving like, Amazon's just going to keep on moving up, which it has done for so long prior to, the last couple months. But I mean, we've got a move from a hammer up pretty quickly, almost up into 1665. Let's see the high. Yeah, we're almost to 1665.27. We're 28 cents away from there. So this would be a good place if we can get some sort of reversal here. I mean, that'd be a great location where, we came down here, we've got some wicks here, we have the low here, and it's just 1665. It's been just a very clear pivot point. Next candle, inverted hammer. This is where we go bearish. This is, playing out, at a great place to sell. It's a bearish gap and go. This is the candle to either get in on this candle as it crosses this point, this line, or look for some nice small candles to take this thing lower. And so what happens next? It rolls back down and then starts to retrace. Here's some of those small candles right in here, really small candles, inverted hammer. And I know it's hard to see just because, there we go, just because that was so large. All right, there we go, this is a little easier. Got an inside candle, inverted hammer-ish candle, slightly lower high, lower low, dropping volume, breakdown. It's rolling back down. Nope, it's going sideways. Okay, here's a new low, but it didn't take out the open low. This is starting to look like a bit of a triangle here, and it's breaking down. Maybe this is a retest, and then it rolls over. But a lot of times when I think that in the morning, it doesn't play out that way, and it just takes longer. So yeah, right away, we're right back up here, taking out some highs. People are getting bullish off of this hammer because it's similar to a hammer here, and people are buying. And what happens? It retraces. Got a squeeze forming, but we're just sideways. Okay, there's a little bit more of a breakout. People are buying here. Look at all the people trapped right here thinking, oh yeah, this is the place to get in. no, this is the place to still be patient and wait, and still sideways. So it's not until like way over here that it's like, okay, it's been going sideways all day. It was just earnings. Price is getting baked in. We're right now at this same resistance we had from pre-market. We got some room to go down if we can get it going down to that support down here. Haven't gotten down there in a little while. You get the squeeze. It's getting some bearish momentum. It's a bearish gap. This is where I'd be looking to see this consolidation break down. Look for a retest to get in. And if it doesn't do that, if it breaks out and goes bullish, then hopefully I don't get triggered in bearish, So get some really small candles, indecision candles here, and a bearish candle. This one with, let's see, the low and the close are the same. So shaved bottom, indecision candle, another bearish candle. This one's actually taking out the lows in here. And then another indecision candle, and then another bearish candle. So it's like these 6 candles right here. It's just kind of painting the picture of, yeah, this is about to go lower. Just the way that the indecision on the bullish, a clear bearish breakdown for the next candle. And that just continues on down. We're coming right into the low here, right into the low that hammer. This is kind of the last place to get a little bit of support come in and for it to get bought up. And it does. Nice little consolidation right here. And because this bigger triangle has broken down, we got the squeeze having fired, this is the place to get in right here, to get in bearish because it's broken down here. Yes, we've got some support with this candle, this hammer, but we're breaking down bearish on a bearish gap and go. It's time to get in bearish. And so look at the options are at like 12:30 to see kind of what you could have been doing with puts. But this is really, really tight. This is a great opportunity to just get in bearish, set your stop somewhere up here, anywhere in here to get that $1 risk. And it just continues on down. It continues very quickly. This was actually a massive move, being afternoon on expiration Friday with the right put. You could have just doubled your value in that put. So we'll take a look at what that could have been for profit, and then you don't have to exit here. You can hold on and see, okay, is it going to keep going lower? What's going to happen? So you get a nice indecision candle here, and really nice hammer-esque candle. And it's just sideways. It's seeing if this is going to hold as some support. We're still a little ways away from 1754, but that's kind of the next target. See if we can get down there. I always like to see it get a move from like one of the 25 strikes. So the 1650 is one of those, and it moved down to 1625. You can kind of reference these as being at the money, and then if you were in this one, now this one's at the money, and so you should have some significant gain if you were in this one and getting in even here. That's what we'll look at. So it's moved bearish. The squeeze has started to, the squeeze lasted and continued pushing out all this time, and now we're starting to lose a little bit of momentum. And that's okay because we moved so far down. So we put in a new low on the day. We've crossed or touched 1625. Haven't really crossed it yet, and we're starting to consolidate again here. Letting the exponentials move a little bit closer, but in this case, it just starts to roll over again. So very similar to this, where you had some bullish candles and then bearish breakdown candles. This is just all bearish candles, but there's still some small indecision ones. They just didn't give you any confidence that this thing could move back up bullish. Really, like, you could have your stop here. Once you have this move, you could have your stop here. And then once it throws some of these upper wicks, you can put your stop right here. And now that it's just rolling over, it's like, okay, well, let me look at my option price here, see if I gained a little bit more here, and probably just get out and not play a game with it being the last hour of the afternoon on a Friday expiration. You can, but if you've gotten some decent gains here, it's time to lock something in, and maybe all of it, maybe some of it, and pick it back up next week and see what you can do with that gain. So right here we get some indecision, a little bit of buying. This was like a Morningstar reversal. Again, it's not as low as I wanted it for some buying at 17.54, but it's still just kind of still sending some lower levels in here. Still getting lower highs here to here, you know, and so we got a squeeze for me again. We're just getting late in the day. So here we are at 250. It's like, okay, if you're not out yet, now's the time to get out. Depending on the option you're in, you know, the 1625, your price was better on this candle than this one, but this is one I wouldn't play games on because it's at the money. It's going to lose value immediately as it gets up here, and it'll gain it right back coming down here, but it won't be all of it. You know, like this move from up here down to here, or no, from here down to like here, I think gave you your best jump in that option price, just because it moves so quickly and got so close to being at the money. You know, we're basically here in the 1620s, so we're close to 1625. That's almost the next strike, you know. So here we are ending the day with a little bit of a bullish move, and that means the 1625 put ended out of the money and would be worthless. So here we go on today. Really, really nice consolidation, some clear signals that it's holding this as a resistance, which it was kind of doing pre-market. You got some really nice indecision candles that are getting triggered bearish, and then a really nice pennant here that just totally breaks down. So many things pointing to, okay, waiting for this to play out and just being ready when it gets to the right level. And, you know, even something like this, there's a really nice pennant here, but, you know, this one just didn't break down here. It didn't give any signal breaking down. It actually gave a signal looking like it was going to go bullish, but that's not the direction that, you know, this was really setting up to go with a bearish gap and go. So, you know, looking for the bearish trade, looking at the right levels. So let's come back in here and look at these candles at 1225, 1230 to see what you could have done with puts. So the puts at 1225, 1230. So you would have missed this move, you know, from here up, but then these candles, 1225, 1230, pull into some of my favorite values, comes right into 10 bucks. So you could have done, you know, probably 10 by 9, based on that low on that candle. And then likely would have been filled on either one of these. And then that's, you know, this is the move it had very quickly. So getting it at 10 could have gotten out at 20 within like 20 minutes, you know, and that would have been a great level to get out of. This is, the open is 2049. So 20 would have been a nice value to set up as your target because you're right at this open in this candle, and you got there. And then if you had held, it only pulled back a little bit. If you held, you would have been back up here, which that value we haven't seen since yesterday, and that was our breakdown point. So right up here, right in here, this is where we were holding, breakdown. And today we rallied, and then, you know, got right back up into, you know, this range on the options. So this is the 1650. It was out of the money a little bit. They get back in and just kind of held, and then just totally moved with this quick breakdown on the stock with a quick breakout on the option. Looking at the calls didn't really do too much. We didn't really get into the line we were looking for at 1754. We did a couple smaller candles in here that maybe could have set up to do something, but I mean, even this, you've broken the low on the option. It's like maybe that's not quite the place to be, looking for a nice retracement, bullish move, because it could just roll over right here. Now, fortunately, this one, it kind of reversed, pulled back a little bit, reversed, and got up. And then from there, it rolled down and just continued lower. So calls weren't really that helpful. Again, this is the 1650 call, just like we're looking at the 1650 put. And then, let me see. Okay. I took my downtrend line out because it kind of gives you some false sense that, oh, we're just chopping around off of that. Remember, on the daily, it's way down here. But on the 5 minute, somehow it shows up in this candle. This is a really nice inverted hammer This is definitely an evening star reversal. I still like that we got up into this value, into this range yesterday as a neckline. And I'm just feeling like maybe because this was kind of a double shoulder in the head, and then I don't know if we call this a shoulder. I don't think we do. I think we just say this one got up to the neckline. Here's a small shoulder. I think we're gonna have a little bit of a bigger one, hopefully into the 1500s, and potentially, back down here into the middle, and then a nice rally right through this. I mean, it could pause there a little bit, but we get down. It's a bearish gap and go. Clearly trapping folks who were buying yesterday. We've had this bearish momentum coming in. We have a squeeze. So last time we had a squeeze coming off of a bearish or a losing the bullish momentum. We were right in here, which was still making higher highs. So today we just didn't make a higher high on any of this, but back then we were making higher highs every couple of days. Or I guess every couple of weeks, depending on where you see the pivots. But that just went sideways for a little while before it broke out again. We could just go sideways for a little while, kind of chopping around in this whole range, and do that for another week or something. And then if it'll hold that, then see if we get this to fire bullish, and get in on some out of the money calls to trade up a little bit higher. So the wick we got on the after hours was around 1777, I think. So that would have been way up here. And it's just kind of interesting to me that is right at this level and pretty much right at this level. And so, it just kind of supports that, well, maybe we can get back up to here as a neckline rather than saying this range is, because we crossed through it here and here. So what daily is not showing you is we actually made it up to, let's see what the value was, 1777 and 77 cents. So that would have been somewhere up here. I'm trying to get the exact value, but it's jumped around. There you go. Let's go. 1777. So, the wick got up there, which just helps support that this is kind of a better neckline up here than the one we were working at here. So that can be the next target if it ever gets a rally going, but it looks like it needs a little more retracement, a little more of a pullback, and see if it can hold some of these lines as it moves down a little bit. So hope that makes sense. Hope you made something on Amazon earnings, because they're pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed this video. This is Just Amazon.